Excellent. All right. So my name is Stephanie. We're at Brain Training for Parkinson's. And as many of you know who have been coming week after week, I pick some sort of theme or focus for the class, and then we pull that through both our sensory systems, and so illuminating that focus through our sensory systems, our eyes, our ears, and our touch, and then also through a little bit of movement as well. Usually I work on the floor with the movement. So for today, we are going to be focusing on expanding our capacity for breath. So with better intake of oxygen and better outflow of the things that shouldn't be in our body, we can better nourish both our brains and our bodies, the cells in our bodies, with the chemicals, the oxygens that we need for best performance. So today's class, you need a pen or pencil for your eye tracking drills. You need some floor space and a pillow. And then also one of the ways that we're going to measure our efficiency for breath is by measuring the circumference of your thorax. So something that you can use to measure that if you would like to partake in that measurement. It's not completely, it's optional. All right. So before we get going, we are going to take a check-in on our breathing. And so find a place that you can either settle in. You can do the standing, seated, or laying on your back. And if it's easiest to take in some sensory information in your body and what's going on, if it's easiest to close your eyes so you sort of close out the world and really can focus inward, we'll go ahead and do that. You can let your hands just rest on your thighs or down by your side. And just breathe. Just breathe for right now. And I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to take some mental notes on both the passageways of your breath and then also the quality of your breath. So first off, where does your air enter? Does it enter through your nose or mouth? And there's no right or wrong. We're just taking notice. And then how's the quality of that entry? Is there some congestion? Does it enter pretty easily? Does it get stuck somewhere along the way? How far down can you pull that air into your thorax? Does it stop in your throat, your chest, your belly, your pelvis? Some somatics even say maybe pulling that breath through your feet. Noticing the frequency, how often you need to take a breath. Noticing the duration of the ratio of your inhale versus your exhale in duration. Is your inhale quite quick and your exhale long, or vice versa? Are they about even? And then go ahead and just do a few more breaths, just again, noticing quality. General sensation. Does it feel like it's tight? Does it feel like it's fluid? Is it easy, laborious? Great. And if you're one of those people that likes to write some notes down, because maybe in 50 minutes you'll forget what that experience was, go ahead and write down any notes that you felt were important for you to know with your pre-class breath intake. All right. So in terms of breath, there is both a mechanical quality of breath. So the literal ability for you to pull in air expand your structure so that air can fit inside of you, and then your ability to expel that air. So that's the mechanical property of breath. And then there's a biochemical property of breath in terms of the CO2 buildup and the oxygen, the oxygen intake, and then the ability to withstand CO2 buildup. And I'm not going to get into the biochemistry of that. Frankly, it's not my forte, but that's my basic understanding of it. So first, we're going to measure the quality of our inhale and exhale versus in the mechanical sense. So using your string or your measuring device, go ahead and take that measuring device around your body. And ladies, I say it just goes sort of like right under the breast, or right maybe where the bottom of your bra strap would be. Guys, it's like a few inches under the nipple line. And go ahead and just wrap your string around, and there should be a clear endpoint. Like for me, I'm like, okay, I'm going from the knot to whatever is the measurement. And so right here, we're going to take a few breaths, and I want you to try to expand your rib cage as much as possible so that it changes it changes and presses out on your measuring device. Okay. So essentially we're going, where is the starting point? So if I go let me start over here. Full exhale, take that measure, and then full inhale. And then take that measure. And you can do that a few times. So full exhale, and then what's the measure? And then full inhale, and what's the measure? And essentially you're looking for the difference in the circumference, the difference in your circumference. So if you're still confused on that, you're going to take your finger and mark on your string, full exhale, pull it tight, measure, full inhale, find the circumference, and then measure. And then that's your difference. Okay. Now, if you're using an actual measuring tape, it'll be very clear. You can mark down what your difference is. If you're not using a measuring tape, find something around the room that you can sort of compare it to and be like, okay, this is roughly like almost to the edge of my phone, or something that you can measure maybe on your, oh, this is like the width of my mouse, of my trackpad, something that you can sort of measure up against. Okay. And if that takes a few times, because I know that takes some coordination, go ahead and do maybe one more. Kind of science asks for like 3 takes, right? You need to like be sure. So again, full exhale, full inhale, and then measure the difference. And that was actually worse on my last one. So I'm going to take my best. Great. So that was measuring, just to recap while you're finishing that up, that's measuring how well are you able to expel your air, like push everything out through draw. Is that better? Yeah, thank you. So as I was saying, the breath is all about pressure gradients. So increasing the space in your thorax draws air in, and then, increasing the space draws air in, and decreasing the space presses air out. Okay, I hope I'm not making a fool of myself in front of anyone that's like physics here. Great. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go for the second kind of form of measuring breath, or another form, not just the second, but another form of measuring breath, which is what I was talking about with that chemical balance. So the breath experts out there call this air hunger or CO2 tolerance. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take 5 normal breaths.
In, out, in, out, in, out, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to fully exhale after the 5th breath. I will hold up a timer, and you're going to notice or, take note of the time, how many seconds pass before you feel like you need to pull another breath in. So the air hunger, like how hungry are you for that next breath? So just to be clear, 5 inhale exhales. Your last exhale, everything goes out. You keep it out. Notice how long you can go before the urge to take another breath. Now that's important to note. It's not how long can you go before taking another breath. It's before your body says, I need another breath. Not trying to override that reflex, but just noting how long. All right, does that make sense? Okay, and I'm just gonna have a running clock. So you just note the time. Carrie, did you have a question? Okay, you're good to go. All right, so we're gonna go 5 inhale exhales. Go ahead. I'm just gonna start the running clock. So you go on you. 5 inhale exhales, last one exhale, and then start the timer, okay? I'm just gonna have the running clock here. 5 normal breaths. Okay, maybe some of you are approaching your last breath. Exhale all the way. Once all of the air is out, then start your timer. Again, and noting when the urge to take the breath, not necessarily how well you can override that reflex. Good. And I'm not going to have us do this twice, but if you on your own time want to go ahead and do this a few times, we are going to do this at the end of class too, okay? All right, give me a thumbs up if you finished that drill, so I know that I don't need the timer anymore. Okay, great, awesome. So I'm not going to tell you what all of that means quite yet. We're going to go through some of these drills and then see if your objective measurements have changed, and then that would tell us, of course, that your breath, your quality of breath increased. But then also remember, breath, your subjective data also is valid, what you felt at the beginning as well. All right. So right here, we're going to go ahead and just do a little bit of eye tracking drills to get our sensory system intact. Some of the movement, some of the stuff today is going to be, again, the sensory intervention. Some of it's going to be movement on the floor. Go ahead and grab your pencil for eye tracking. We're going to hold the pencil in one hand, and your head, your other hand is going to hold your chin so that you're not moving your head, but you're truly moving your eyeballs in their sockets. And we're going to pull your pen over to one side of your face. Follow that pen or pencil with your eyeballs only, no turning of your head. And again, you want to pull your eyeballs to the furthest side of your face as possible, and then slowly bringing it over to the other side as well. And you can switch your hands if that makes more sense for your coordination there. So again, just going right and left with your eyes. And I'm not doing it, but I'm pretending to do it so I can watch y'all and catch you if you're moving your head. Yep, nice and slow. And again, you want to pull your eyes to the furthest part of your face possible. That's going to push you. Again, it shouldn't be comfortable. It should be a little bit straining in your eyeballs. That's a good thing for brain training, for this eyeball training work. Yeah, I'm going to do 2 or 3 more. Y'all are getting so much better at this. Disassociating your head movement and your eyeball movement. Great job. This is actually, this is a very big improvement, I'm noticing. Yeah, nice work. Good. And then go ahead and blink your eyes a few times. Maybe rub your eyeballs, give yourself a little break, neuro break. We can't push this stuff. The nervous system is queen here. All right, so we're going to go up and down now with our eyeballs. So again, you can hold your hand with your head with your hand. That always keeps us honest. And we're just going to go up and down, pulling your eyeballs to the top of your face. You should be seeing almost like the black rim of your eye socket, and then pulling down and seeing kind of the black rim of your cheekbones, it would be. Okay, so pulling your eyes all the way down without dropping your head. And up and down. There you go. Tracking the pen or pencil the whole way. Push yourself, especially on that up. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, or was this last week? We think we were talking about how we're always looking at our feet when we're walking, or some of us might be always looking at our feet when we're walking. So helping us pull your vision up is important, not only for your walking and gait, but also just your posture in general. Last one. Good. And then blink, rub your eyes, rub your cheekbones, rub your neck. You'll know that there's good stuff in the neck. We will be doing some neck work. Good. And then we're going to go for circles around the full rim of your vision. So we'll do about 4 circles in one direction, 4 in the other. And I want you to go slow enough that you can really pull your vision up. If you go too quickly, you might be cutting some corners in that circle. So nice and easy all the way around. You can use your free hand to make sure that your head is not moving. Good. Make sure you're tracking that pen with your eyes the whole time. Yep. Track that pen with your eyeballs the whole time, even when they come down towards the ground. Yeah. Good. And if you've already finished, maybe you went a little too fast, you can do a few more while the rest of the team finishes, kind of using a crowd source to see when we've done an adequate job here. Great work, David. Nice job. Good. And then when you're done, you can rub your eyes, rub your cheekbones, maybe your jaw. And with that, we are going to go into some self-massage for your neck and face. So if our breath enters through our nose and our mouth, we need to make sure that this whole area is free and clear for those tubes to pull air in, okay? If you felt any restriction or congestion, here we are with that, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and just sweep through the nose and press out. If any of you have done gui sha before, this is kind of that idea. Not to mention, face massage is really great to help you with facial expression. So if you find yourself to be losing kind of this expressive quality in your face from that masking symptom, give your facial nerves some love by just rubbing your face every once in a while. It'll kind of stimulate, give you a little bit of a facelift. Okay. And then go ahead and grab your thumbs kind of right underneath your earlobes. And then you'll feel underneath your earlobes, you'll feel this corner of your jaw. And we're going to slice our fingers right, my voice is going to change, right underneath the jawline towards the apex of your chin. And so we're getting all the musculature that would be supporting an open palate and tongue. So I know I'm bringing in other elements here, but maybe before some speech therapy, you do a little root of tongue massage. If you know yourself to kind of cock your head to one side or the other, you might feel a difference between the one side and give that side just a little extra love. Some people love this, some people hate it. I like the root of tongue massage. Yeah. Good. No, we should have also done was a voice check-in, but maybe your partner or your spouse can let you know if your voice seems better after this class today. And then we're going to go ahead and do all of this space in our neck I love the skin lift move here, so I'm going to show you that. But if you know and prefer the ball twisting, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to show that today, but we are going to do the skin lift. So skin lift is using 2 pincher fingers on either hand, and you're going to pull up on the skin, and you're going to roll your skin. So I'm going to try to get close. Excuse the closeness of it, but you're rolling the skin. So we're taking the layers, the superficial layers of your skin, and we're pulling them up off of those structures that are underneath, like your nerves and your lymph channels and your blood vessels, so that the things that need to flow through those channels can flow a little easier and not be so matted down by the superficial layers of the skin. I think of this top layer of skin as like tissue paper, that, you know how like when tissue paper or toilet paper like gets wet, it kind of like mats together. So we're just trying to pull those tissues apart a little bit. And then, so you're going to come all the way from one side over to your throat. We're not going to do the skin over the throat. That's a little uncomfortable and frankly not really worth doing. And so I'm just going to jump over the river there and go to the other side. And I always get this question, is this going to make my chin skin more flabby? The answer is no, it's going to make it more elastic. Because you're bringing fluid to the area. And more nutrients with that blood flow. Lymph takes the bad things away. Woo, there's a tender spot on me all the way through. Yeah, good. And then go ahead and just rub through your collarbones just very quickly here. Great. So what you might find interesting about class today too is that outside of our check-in and our check-out process, I'm not going to have us do any breathing drills. They're all going to be drills to support our structures and our nervous system to bring us better breath. Okay, so we're not going to be doing kind of the inhale for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds type work. All right, we're migrating to the floor if you didn't already notice from my transportation here. So go ahead and find yourself a nice little spot on the ground. Hey. And you do need a pillow. Hey. You do need a pillow. And if you have your letter ball, this is a nice option as well. So I'm going to show both options. I personally prefer using a blown up ball for the first one, but I'm going to show both options. All right. So once you get down to your floor, take your pillow, and hopefully it's a little bit built up. If you need to grab 2 pillows or fold your pillow in half. Right here, we're going to lay down over the top of the pillow. Ooh, and you can take a second pillow if you want and place it underneath your head. And we're going to bring that top arm overhead. And I know y'all are getting situated, so we'll hang here for a little bit longer until I move forward with any more directions. There's Trace. Hey. Great. All right. So once you get down and comfortable on the mat here, you're going to have the pillow underneath your ribs and your top arm up overhead. And so as we talked about earlier, we're trying to give us a little bit more space in our rib cage that allows the air to flow in deeper, as opposed to just being a shallow breath in your throat or your chest. And I love this drill because really it asks that you do almost nothing.
So as you inhale and exhale, and I said I wasn't going to cue inhale, exhale, but here's a little bit of it. As you inhale and exhale, try to focus your breath into opening and filling this top lung. Okay, so we have two lungs. This lung that's on top, we're going to inhale and bring more space and dimension into that lung. And by laying over the pillow on the bottom side, you sort of close off that lung, so it forces you to work more in this top lung. Yeah. Another option, that is a great option. That's not a bad option at all. I do like the ball because it can pinpoint a little bit more in my upper thoracic. And I get a little bit of a lat massage on the bottom side. So whichever one you choose, they both work great. Maybe try both if you have those options and you can pick which one you like better. Carrie, do you like that better? Yeah, I like that better too, right? And then right here, we're just going to do some rotation. So we're just going to roll backwards a little bit, try not to fall off the ball, and then roll forward. Roll backwards and forwards. Roll backwards and forwards. Yeah. Beautiful. Still sending that breath to the top rib and the top lung. Maybe two more. My stomach is really talking to me right now. I think we're making some more space in there for our organs in general. It's a good sign. When your organs start talking to you, like if you're getting a massage or something like that, and your organs start talking, that's a really good sign. It means you've dropped into that parasympathetic and you're really drawing inward. Last one or two here. Again. Perfect. Nice job. And then go ahead and press yourself up into a seated position. And before we do the other side, this is similar to when we like roll out one foot and we compare it to the foot that we didn't just do. So take a moment to close your eyes if that is helpful to turn inward and notice just generally your relationship to the right side versus the left side. And then also take a few breaths and just see if you notice a difference in one side where the air goes. And you may be biased based off of the experience that you just had, like your intellectual understanding of what your experience just had. But either way, let's go ahead and get settled up on the other side. So again, you could either be draped over the pillow, especially if you have a high pillow, maybe you need another pillow here. And then that top arm is going to come overhead so we can expose that top rib. Because I like bringing, some context to doing these drills in other areas of your life. If any of you do a formal meditation or even an informal meditation, you can try doing your meditation in some of these postures that help you open up your breath. Okay, so if you notice that one side of your breath is more blocked, maybe you do your meditation with that side open. Whew. So always at first, I feel a little claustrophobic when I do these because my breath isn't ready to go into that area. Just hang with it, breathing in through your nose, sending your breath open into that top lung. I'm going to switch it out for the ball because I like that better in my body. And the ball allows me to roll a little bit better too. So if you're finding that rolling is hard, then maybe try the ball. So go ahead and roll back just a little bit and then roll forward. Still working on that inhale into that top lung. Oh, this always feels so good in my thorax. Oh. Sometimes I feel like I should be paying my students for holding me accountable to do this work as well. It's like mutually beneficial. Reaching up. Great. I noticed for myself that this side feels just a little bit less natural to breathe into. So on a personal note for yourself, if you have one side that feels less, I don't know if challenging is the right word, or one side that feels more challenging, but like less obvious is for some reason the language I like to describe it, then maybe you need to spend a little bit more time on that side. Okay, so in the future, you can revisit that side just a little bit more than the other side. Good. Nice. Got it. Haha, my stomach just started talking again. That's good. It's a good sign. All righty. We're going to go ahead and gracefully dismount from that. And stay with me on this next part if you haven't done abdominal massage before. We're going to that next. So a few ways to do it. It's exactly the same techniques that we've done for our neck in the past. So you're either going to do the skin lift technique or the twisting of the ball. All right. I'm going to show the skin lift technique. If you like the ball twist or you want to try that as well, and you know what that is, go ahead and try that. You're going to be laying on your back when you do this, but I am going to just show it here so it's a little bit easy to see. So you're going to expose your skin, expose that belly, let it hang out, and then grab a part of your abdominal skin. And we're going to do that same technique of rolling the skin up about to where your ribs are, where your ribs start, and then over to the other side, and then just scoot over to the next column and drop down. All right. Pretty simple technique. You could pay a lot of money for someone else to do this for you. Best to do this when you're laying on your back, but for the sake of the video, I'm just here, okay? And you may notice for yourself, there's some areas that are harder to lift the skin. And not because of whatever adipose tissue and that sort. You'll just notice it's like thicker, like it's just like dense. There's certain zones on your abdomen that refer to different organs. And so you'll just want to spend a little bit more time in those areas that are more dense. Again, with skin rolling, what this is doing is pulling those superficial layers of your skin up a little bit so that you can have better fluid flow to your digestive system. To be honest, for here specifically, you also have a massive network of lymph right in your abdomen. So we're letting a lot of lymph flow through and take that fluid out. Not to mention that we're talking about cabin or cavity expansion and compression for your breath. And so being able to drop your abdominals and pull your drop your intestines and pull the intestines up
sort of supports that pressure change in the cavity. All righty. Go ahead and lie on your side. Doesn't matter which one. Maybe your stomach's really talking to you now that you did all that abdominal work. And you can, I prefer to do this on skin. So I'm just going to lift up my shirt a little bit. You're going to take the top hand, and if you go up from your belly button and over to the side, you're going to feel your hard rib cage. You'll feel that hard rib cage right on the inside of that. So sort of between the hard rib cage and the belly button, there's this almost like pocket that you can stick your fingers in. And we're going to take that pocket and we're going to pull it to the hard ribs as you rotate open up towards the ceiling. So we've done spinal twists before in the past. This is just giving us a little bit of extra stretch in your intestines to stretch open. All right, and we're going to do a couple more of those. So pulling the ribs in and up and across. Good, good. We'll do that maybe 2 more times. Grip in, skin to skin, kind of tugging is the best way to go if it's available to you. And last one. Hopefully you get a little bit more rotation when you get that stretch in your intestine as well. Switch to the other side. So either you can roll away from me, but I'm going to swing my legs around so I can still watch you. In a non-creepy way, I'm still watching you. All right, skin to skin is best. So again, with the sweet spot, we find our belly button and we go up, and then we go out to the side to find the hard rib. And kind of right in between those points, you can kind of pull your fingers into this pocket. And we're going to pull the skin up and out to the side as you're pulling open into rotation. Up and out to the side as you're pulling open into rotation. So while you're doing this, I can give you some anatomy background. I'm a teacher, so I have to teach. I can't just instruct or, lead. I have to teach the background. So your intestines, your large intestines, are sort of suspended like curtains, the corners of them to the back part of your rib cage. So they kind of like come up and then attach to the back part of your rib cage. The transverse intestine comes across and then it drops down into your descending colon, your transverse colon. And so by pulling a little bit of that point, that fixture, which is just the corner where it attaches, we get a little bit more malleability in the organ itself, which then helps the rib cage expand. All right. So if you're not bound by the organ. Yeah. Because the organs can become inflexible as well. All right. And then go ahead and bring it in. We're going to take your pillow. We have one last sort of position drill, if you want to call it. We're going to take, I think the pillow works better for this one. Or if you have a yoga bolster, clearly I like the yoga bolster. And you're going to lay on top of it, of your pillow, and scoot forward enough so that you get this roundness in your upper back. Yeah. And
I'm feeling some traction in my low back. This feels really nice. And so similar to what we did while laying on your side, we're sort of inhibiting the breath to go in the front of the body. And so that the breath and the air is forced to go behind us. So if you're feeling claustrophobic or challenging to breathe right now, it's probably because your back is tight in the back and we're lacking, or we have less than optimal expansion of the ribs behind us, if that makes sense. So being able to expand the ribs behind is called posterior rib breathing. So right here, as you're taking your inhales and exhales, you can imagine hot hands on your flanks. Every inhale, you're trying to push out on those hot hands that are in your mid back. Yeah. Maybe one or two more breaths there. Excellent job. And then go ahead and somehow gracefully dismount from your pillow.
And bring yourself up to either a seated or standing position for us to check back in on those measurements that we did at the beginning of our class. And there's also something to be said for taking 30 to 40 minutes and being mindful about your breath. If you've ever gone scuba diving before and you get out and you have this like bliss, it's because you've spent, your whole dive focusing, you know what I'm talking about. If you scuba, you focus on your breath the entire session. All righty. So let's find that measurement tool that we had earlier. We have some maybe scientific, maybe non-scientific way of measuring what that difference was. And so just as a reminder, we're going around the thorax. Make sure that you're measuring roughly the same place as you did before. So not higher or lower, ladies, right under the breast is good, or right brush up, guys, a couple inches below the nipple line, but make sure you're still around your rib cage. And we're going to fully exhale, draw your ribs in. Now that you know, we're drawing the ribs in, take a measure, and then full inhale. Try to expand those ribs all the way out. Push air into the ribs to expand. Okay. Now let's see what happened. And you can try a few trials too. I'm going to go for 3 trials and take an average. Science, right? We got to do that. And then once you've finished, You can either actually measure that difference. Give me a thumbs up if you've increased your expansion, same, or it got worse. So increase your expansion, increase that difference, same, or it got worse. Great, Carrie, got you. Adam, you said same. Veggie, you said sort of better. Okay. Karen and Walter said it got better. Excellent. Nice work. Good. All right. And then we're going for that air hunger. Let me turn on my timer. So the air hunger, remember that was 5 normal breaths. The last one, you take the exhale and then you time how long you're able to go without before an urge to take your next breath. I hate this one. I'm so bad at this one. Oh, when I say bad, I'll tell you what the numbers mean after we do this. All right, so I'm going to start the timer here. Go ahead and start your 5 breaths, just your normal breaths. Is my timer backwards? Or is it forwards? It's forwards? Okay. All the way exhale. Once you're done with the exhale, then start the timer. And then just wave your hand when you feel like you don't need the timer anymore. So I know that I can put the timer down. Karen, you good? Okay, great. So then give me a thumbs up if your time increased, horizontal thumb if it stayed the same, or your time decreased. Excellent, time increased. For some of you, awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so I admittedly am really bad at my CO2 tolerance. So it's called your CO2 tolerance, like how much can you tolerate the buildup of CO2 in your body before your body perceives that as a stress response. And then you need to take in your next breath so that you filter out that CO2. CO2 is not necessarily bad. You should be able to sustain some CO2 buildup before feeling like you need the next breath. They say 20 seconds and under needs development. 20 seconds to 40 seconds is like you're doing pretty good. And then 40 seconds and beyond is like you're an athlete, you're spectacular. All right. So I'll be honest, I was at 15 on the last round, like 15 seconds. I'm not really great at this. CO2 tolerance, that's also called your is it your Bolt score? We'll call it CO2 tolerance. That score is also an indicator of your chronic nervous system state. So if you have a low score, you're probably more biasing in a sympathetic state chronically. And if you have a higher time or a higher score, you're probably more chronically in a parasympathetic state, which is what we want. Parasympathetic, which is that calm, rest, relaxation, neuroplasticity, healing state. All right. Cool. And then the last measurement. So we have 2 objective measurements. We have the mechanical, we have the biochemical, and then we need a subjective test as well. So go ahead and find yourself seated, and we'll just do a quick subjective self-intake on your inhales and exhales. And I'll take you through just those same questions that I prompted at the beginning. If it helps to close your eyes, close your eyes. So notice where are you naturally intaking your breath? Is it coming through your nose or your mouth? And noticing the quality of that breath, the restriction or the openness of those tubes. Do you have congestion, restriction, free flow? Where do you feel that air coming in and filling in your body? Does it stop at some point, or does it pull to the throat, to the chest, to the ribs? We did a bunch of rib expansion work. Hopefully you can start feeling your breath pull all the way down there, maybe through your pelvis. And again, the somatics, they kind of say pull your breath all the way through the bottom of your feet. even though physiologically that's not really possible, but we can pull it in ourselves. And then a note on your frequency. How often do you feel like you need to take a breath? As well as the duration of your inhale versus the duration of your exhale in that ratio. You want to bias a little bit more to a longer exhale than inhale. Beautiful. If you want to jot down any notes on that after that, those subjective after observations, you can do that. We are going to do one drill to sort of bring our energy a little bit back up, because all that breath work can kind of calm us down so much that we want to just take a nap, which may be what you want to do, but I know I have to go to work with people after this. So if you are in the camp with me, we are going to do a brain speed drill. This is going to sort of bring us back up. And it's also going to, as I mentioned at the beginning, the breath and your ability to pull oxygen into your body is important so that your brain is getting the nutrients it needs to do what it needs to do. All right. So your brain is getting that oxygen. We are going to do a brain speed drill here. So if you have done this, but we've done this maybe once or twice, go ahead and stand up if you're standing up today. And I'm going to assign movements to each of these shapes. And you will move through the chart, performing the movements assigned to each shape. So the star is going to be, make a star with your body. The square is going to be, do a squat. And the circle is going to be, oh wait, what did I say? Yes, and then the circle is going to be, make a circle up on top of head. So it's going to be star, circle, squat. I think I had that right from what I planned. Yeah. All right. So basically you're going to read the chart from like a book. I'm backwards. I don't know which way is right, but read it like a book. I think it's this way. Read it like a book. If you get to the bottom before the minute is up, just start at the top again and work your way through. You want to go as fast but as accurate as possible. Pretty simple, right? Any questions? No? All right. Ready, set, go. So star, circle, squat. That's good, David. Nice modification of that squat. Good. So if you're doing this from a seated position, just touch your toes on the squat. Good. And you're about halfway through that minute. Keep going. If you got to the bottom, just start back at the top. Three, two, and time. Nice work. Walk around the room and just give yourself a little reset. We're going to do that one more time. For those of you that want to add a little bit more oomph into that drill, the star is going to become a jumping jack. The square is still going to be a squat, just increase your depth. And the circle is going to be a pencil jump, So it'd be like that. So it's jumping jack, pencil jump. If you want to increase sort of that aerobic capacity, again, that would be involved with your breath. All right, you ready? One last minute and we're good to go. My timer. Ready, set, go. Nice. Wow, you guys are moving faster on this one. Are we starting to wake up a little bit? Yes. re-stimulate the brain. Put that oxygen to good use. Over halfway. Beautiful. About 10 seconds to go. Hopefully you're a little further along than the last round. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Great job. Walk around the room. Check in with the quality of both your breath here and your gait after that work. Hopefully you have a little bit more thoracic rotation, maybe a natural arm swing that goes with that. Eyes are up and comfortable and strong in your body. Nice work. Excellent job, guys. I'm going to turn off the recording. If you have anything that you want to share with the group, feel free to unmute yourself.